Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday, wherever you are in the world. And for some of you, when you actually see this, it's maybe not even Sunday, it's probably Monday. But there we go. And thank you for joining me again. And thank you for all your kind comments about, these Facebook Lives that I'm doing on a daily basis to draw us all together and to enable us to get through this current situation, and then not only just get through this current situation in a good place, but be able to come out of the other end of this thing in a better place, in a stronger place, a more powerful place, which I believe that's possible. Though, when I'm not filming these lives and when I'm not doing the lives, and I do other people's lives as well as my own, so I'm spending a lot of time on video at the moment. Then I'm talking to friends and family and those kind of things, and there's a lot of stuff being pumped out, particularly in the personal development world, and maybe I'm a little bit guilty of this myself. As far as this is your opportunity to go for your dream, your big goal, the thing you've always wanted to do, and whatever. And this is the time to build that website you've always wanted to do, write that book you've always wanted to write, put that training program together that you've always wanted to do. And personally, I'm actually finding that I've got less time than I normally do in this current situation with all the the live stuff that I'm doing, the online stuff that I'm doing, and private clients and chatting to people. So what I'm experiencing is that a lot of people are going to overwhelm around their goals, around what they're doing in their day. So some of you are in isolation; you're just totally on your own, and that's tough, as we talked about in previous Facebook Lives, for a number of different reasons. But then, even then, you can get completely overwhelmed with, okay, there's this website I want to build, there's this book I want to write, there's that, and I want to feng shui that room, and I want to clear out this thing, and whatever. Then some of you, are in lockdown with your partner, your significant other, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. They have their needs. You want to spend time with them. You're probably going through different kind of emotional swings. They're going through different emotional swings. And then you're wanting to go, okay, so I'm supposed to achieve this biggest goal that I've ever set in my life. Some of you have got kids. I'm speaking to friends that have got their kids on lockdown because they're not at school, so they're in homeschooling. Their kids are finding the lockdown challenging because they can't go out, they can't see their friends. And then, even beyond that, you've got family, friends that you may be looking after. I've got friends that are taking out food for their friends that are ill, or they're on complete isolation because of their physical well-being, their whatever it may be. And so what I'm hearing is that people are on overwhelm, and whilst you're working on your goal, whilst you're working on your business, whilst you're working on your work, you're thinking, I should be with my kids, I should be with my loved ones, I should, and then you're out, going shopping for friends, family, loved ones, etc., leaving it on the doorstep, and you're thinking, well, I should be doing this, and I should be working on my goal because this life coach told me this is the time to achieve my life purpose, and all that kind of stuff. And it all becomes rather overwhelming. And what happens is your brain goes into lockdown. I don't know about you, just in the comment section of this video, put a thumbs up or a heart. Can I do a heart? I don't know. A heart. If you're with me on that, because I am, your brain goes into lockdown. And it's like you get brain freeze. So you're not actually doing anything well. You're not with your partner, you're not with your kids, you're not with your family, you're not doing this, and you're not achieving your goals. And then at the end of the day, when you've spent the entire day doing that, you feel like shit. And because we've got lots of time to feel that way, we get out the big stick and beat ourselves over the head. Because you go, I haven't worked on this big goal, and so said that this is the time to do the one thing, whatever. That's certainly how I've been feeling. So I'm just being completely upfront and honest with you. I'm running around going like Facebook Live, Facebook Live, Facebook Live, e-shot, 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 e-shot. Oh, and then, I'm speaking to my mum and my family and my uncles, aunties, and all that kind of thing. So I'm with you. And, there are certain of these Facebook Lives that I've got lined up, particularly those with my guests need to be lined up because of lining up schedules. And then there's certain ones, like this one tonight, where I go, okay, I'm going to do it, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I might get an idea when I wake up. I might get an idea at some point in time during the day. I just trust I always have an idea before 7 o'clock British summertime. And so this is the idea I had today. It's something I shared with people, a number of years ago. But it's something I went like, okay, no, this is really relevant now, because we've had a shift in context. And when does it? I mean, I was speaking to my friend Mark Lader, who's going to be doing a Facebook Live with me in the next couple of days around new business models and how we can, we can come out of this situation in a really good way. And I was talking to him, and I remembered a video that he and I watched in 1990. And I was talking to him about this. It's a video by a futurist by the name of Joel Barker. And it was called Paradigm Pioneers, I think it was called, or When the Paradigm Shifts, Everything Goes Back to Zero. Something like that. And I was just reminded of that, when I was talking to him last night. And that's what we've had. We've had a paradigm shift. So a paradigm is a way of working. It's a context in which we take as being the norm, the normal. And when things happen that shift that paradigm, nothing that you did before, everything, and I think the first video was, you might be able to find it on YouTube now. Mark and I paid a fortune to hire this video. I think it was when the paradigm shifts, everything goes back to zero. Joel Barker, Joel Barker. Watch it. It's an old video. It's 1990, something like that, or late 80s. But it's a great video to think about what's going on right now. And, paradigm shifts. And also it's what Nassim Taleb was talking about in his book, Black Swan. So, paradigm shifts and black swans are things that nobody could ever predict, to the point where it completely sidewinds you. There's no way you could have built a contingency plan, a plan B, or anything like that, because you just didn't see it coming. So previous examples of paradigm shifts, not as major as this one. Please, please understand these paradigm shifts I'm explaining to you, or giving you examples of, are not to belittle this global paradigm shift we're going through at the moment. Though 9/11 was a paradigm shift, and a major one. I was in America when that actually happened. It was massively traumatic, particularly for the people of New York. But as far as like it being a paradigm shift, or a black swan, as far as Nassim Taleb would say was concerned, was that it was thought so unlikely that there'd be terrorist action on mainland America, there was no point putting any strategy or contingency in place. And then it happened, you know. And that, you know, was a, you know, I'm not saying it put the world back to zero, but certainly for the people of New York, it was like a, wow, what do we do now, you know? Then, you know, obviously a way smaller and less significant one, but I just want to share this with you to get the idea across to you. Was, you know, in the late 70s, early 80s, a Swiss watch manufacturing company developed a electronic watch, and they exhibited at the Zurich Watch Festival, or the Zurich Watch Fair. Mark Francis, if you're on, you'll correct me on that one, I know. And all the people at the watch festival, all the people at the watch thing, Swiss Watch Festival in Zurich, said nobody is ever going to want an electric or electronic watch. They want real watches. So the Swiss company that invented the watch, and Mark, if you're watching this, you might actually know the company who did it, and that'd be great if you could put that in the link in a comment. Sold the patent to a Japanese company called Seiko. And then, you know, within a very short period of time, you could get a watch that actually told the time more efficiently and more effectively than a Rolex, free with 8 gallons of petrol. I'm showing my age now, you know. And it decimated the Swiss manufacturing industry overnight. The ones that are surviving, like Rolex, Breitling, Hublot, Patek Philippe, etc., repositioned themselves. They are no longer in the timekeeping business. They are in the luxury goods business. You know, you do not wear your Rolex to tell the time. You wear your Rolex because of the way it makes you feel and what it says about you. And they were the only Swiss watch companies that survived and stayed alive. But, you know, think about that. How many people now wear these? You know, I've got Breitlings, I've got Rolex, I've got whatever, but I wear this. It's an electronic watch. That changed the playing field. But then, you know, there's an interesting paradigm shift again in that, you know, Apple, I do love Apple, and I know some of you don't like them. You know, I forgive you. Do you forgive me? Chop, chop. Yeah. Then Apple went with this one, and they created limited editions. And this is a Hermes black Apple Watch, which is a present from my very dear friend, birthday present from Matt James. But again, it's a paradigm shift. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Put a thumbs up in the box that you say that you're getting this. This is probably the biggest paradigm shift I have ever been through. And I was talking to my mum. My mum went through the Second World War as a young girl, and she was saying, "Well, you know, no, it's different. We could go out. There was rationing, but we could still go to the pub. We could still meet with people and all that kind of thing." She's saying, "No, this is nothing like the Second World War. You know, my grandmas went through the First World War. They're not around anymore, so I can't check in with them, at least physically. But this is a major paradigm shift. which changes everything. Therefore, can be very, very, very overwhelming. So how do we deal with the overwhelm? And how do we actually manage to do all the things that we're wanting to do? So this is my theme. I've been on a bit of a rant there, but there we go. It's Sunday. I'm allowed to do that. And I've talked to you about this before. Some of you have watched my Facebook Lives. But, you know, the thing you need to, if you're new to Facebook and you're new to doing Facebook Lives, you automatically think that all of your friends and all your contacts see all of your Facebook Lives. No. So for many of you, when I talk to you about this could well be the first time you've actually come across this. But I have talked about it before because it's probably one of the books that I've read recently that had the single biggest impact on me in recent times. And you know, it's this one here. It's called The One Thing. It's by an author called Gary Keller. I'm going to give you the synopsis of it, and if you're wanting to know a book to read, then buy this one and read it, because it really shifted my thinking around things in a big way. And I always like to, all of my content, all of my material, I like to tell people where I got it from. That's really important to me. There are so many of us in the personal development world that have originated content, and somebody has just basically taken it and said it's theirs. And it's horrible when it happens to you. There's very little you can do about it. Personally, it violates my values. I could never do that. So I'm going to take you through a process. This is where the process comes from. This is the guy that created it in the first place. Okay. So the thing I really like about Gary Keller is he completely blows out the myth about multitasking. I think a lot of people would beat themselves up because they can't multitask. There are other people who pride themselves in the fact that they can multitask. But in actual fact, no one can multitask. And he explains the origins of the term multitasking, which I found very interesting, because the term multitasking did not appear until computers appeared. And so we have a multitasking computer, you know. So at the moment I'm looking at my MacBook Pro. We're filming this video at this point in time. So my little green light's on. I can see that that's happening. I can see the screen as we're going live. I've also got, you know, Facebook on a web browser. I've got a number of other apps running all at the same time. And so your MacBook Pro or your PC or your laptop or wherever it is sold as being a device that multitasks. But it doesn't multitask at all. And I know this because this is my background. It was Gary Keller that reminded me of this. Is your computer creates an illusion of multitasking. What it actually does is it time slices. So just like, you know, your computer has a brain. It's the processor. But the processor, and you know, there's a slight kind of like, I would say, difference in this, but just go with me on the analogy or the metaphor. And what your computer does is it's got this processor, but the processor can actually only do one thing at one point in time, unless you've truly got a multi-processing computer, which I very much doubt many of you have. And so what it does is it takes this massively powerful processor these days, and it slices the time. It goes, okay, we're going to do this little slice here for David's video camera, this little slice here for Facebook, this little slice here for Word that's open, this little slice here for Outlook. And it slices it so quickly that we as human beings don't actually realize that it's slicing it. So it appears that it's all happening at the same time, but in actual fact it's not. And what Gary Keller says is that our brain is the same thing. So when we attempt to multitask, we can't do any of those things well. So he says, just do one thing at a time. Slice your time, if you like, just like the processor on your laptop, your lapbook, or your phone, or your tablet, or whatever it may be. That's what those things do. So do the same thing. So if you're looking after the kids, look after the kids. If you're going out and getting shopping for your friends, family, whatever, that just can't go out for whatever reason, just do that. If you're with your partner, then just do that. If you're by yourself and you just feel like watching Netflix and chilling out watching a movie, just do that. But then, I've been talking about this, Jessen's been talking about this, and a whole bunch of other people in the personal development world have been talking about this. This is an unprecedented opportunity to do something you've never done before, which I totally agree with. I do, and I'm thinking the same way, but equally I'm going, I'm getting overwhelmed. What should I be doing? When? Whatever. This is where Gary Keller popped into my mind, the one thing. So I'm going to take you through the process that Gary's got in here. I'll even tell you what page it's on. It's on page 151 in my copy, which is the hardback copy, but I guess it's the same page, whether it's in a paperback or even in the Kindle version, which is this. I'm going to take you through this goal right now. Okay, so just sit down, just focus on this. This is the final process of this particular Facebook Live, and I guarantee you it will make a huge difference. And I've got to put my hand on my heart and say that I read this, I started doing it, and then I stopped doing it. There you go. 30 years in the personal development marketplace. The guy who's got all of this stuff in his head, and this thing worked, and I stopped doing it. Okay? So if you aren't in a place where you can actually do this process, which will only take you a couple of minutes, then pause the video and do it later. Yeah. So what I want you to think about is, what is your 1 day goal? That thing you said, one day I'll do this. What's your 1 day goal? A goal that was so big that you couldn't even put a time frame on it. And I don't even want you to put a time frame on it now. What is it that you want to achieve one day? Now, the next question is, what is the one thing that you can do in the next 5 years for you to ensure that you achieve your 1 day goal? What is the one thing you can do in the next 5 years which will ensure, if not guarantee, that you achieve your 1 day goal? Now, what is the one thing that you can do in the next year, between now and next April, which is what Jessen was talking about in a previous Facebook Live? What is the one thing that you can do this year which will guarantee that you achieve your 5-year goal, which will guarantee you achieve your 1 day goal? And if you need more time in between these questions, then please pause the video and then we'll then continue. Then the next question is, what's the one thing you can do in the next month that will guarantee that you achieve your 1-year goal, that will guarantee that you achieve your 5-year goal, that will guarantee you achieve your 1-day goal. Your 1-day goal, yes, that's correct, yeah. What's the one thing that you can do this month to guarantee that you achieve your 1-year goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 5-year goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 1-day goal? Now, next question. What's the one thing you can do this week? And I'm talking about this week, like starting now or Monday. What's the one thing you can do this week that will guarantee you achieve your 1-month goal, that will guarantee you achieve your 1-year goal, that will guarantee you achieve your 5-year goal, that in of itself guarantees you achieve your 1-day goal? Next question. What's the one thing you can do today that will guarantee you achieve your 1-week goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 1-month goal, that guarantees you achieve your 1-year goal, that guarantees you achieve your 5-year goal, that guarantees you achieve your 1-day goal? Final question for you. What's the one thing you can do right now, as soon as this video finishes? What's the one thing you can do right now that will guarantee you achieve your 1-day goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 1-week goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 1-month goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 1-year goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 5-year goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 1-day goal? What's the one thing you can do right now that will enable you to achieve, or guarantee, in fact, that you achieve your 1-day goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 1-week goal, that guarantees you'll achieve your 1-month goal, guarantees you'll achieve your 1-year goal, guarantees you'll achieve your 5-year goal, and guarantees you'll achieve your 1-day goal? Got it? And then all you do is you keep doing the one thing that you can do right now. And knowing that it will enable you to achieve your 1-day goal, even though that thing is very, very tiny. Now I'm going to share in a comment after this has gone live. I'll share it a little bit later after you've had a chance to watch the video. Maybe I'll wait until tomorrow to share it. The power of the domino effect. I thought I knew what the domino effect was, but I had no clue what the domino effect was, and I'll share that video with you. Some of you have done trainings with me, I've seen it already. Anyway, you've got to get off there and go and do that one thing right now. So wherever you are in the world, love you lots, a hooey ho, and I'll see you tomorrow.